This video started as a comparison between the HLG and the VLog-L profiles on the Panasonic GH5s. The intention behind HLG or hybrid log gamma, regardless of what camera it's on, is to provide a profile meant for high dynamic range content. The HLG profiles are meant to give you a wide dynamic range profile, but not be the really flat and desaturated and ultra low contrast profile like a log profile. So that's the idea behind HLG. But if you go onto forums and stuff or look on YouTube, there's a lot of people are asking a lot of questions about, can you use HLG or the hybrid log gammas if it's not going to be output to an HDR display? The short answer is yes, you can use it. If you can use a log profile for Rec709 or standard dynamic range, then you can absolutely use the HLG profile for Rec709 or standard dynamic range as well. One thing where HLG excels in comparison to VLog-L is in the noise. It's a much cleaner profile just right out of the camera. There's a lot of stuff under 10 IRE here. Definitely would be the shirt and the jacket. And then even like parts of my face are they're not exposed well enough, especially for Vlog. So you can see that HL is cleaner. I think in this ISO 800, you could do some noise reduction on this one to get it back to closer to where the HLG is. And then the other differences you can see is that the garage door here is not retaining as much detail as it is in the Vlog. And I don't know if everything else looks pretty much the same exposure-wise. So I wonder if there might be just a hair more dynamic range available in Vlog than in HLG. Or if maybe I just lost the highlights just a little bit here in HLG, and that might have been my bad, but it's pretty close. So now I bumped it up to the high ISO range, and here it's a lot noisier than I expected it to be. Even out here, we're in the well-exposed shots. Vlog is definitely cleaner, even out here, and especially in the the underexposed areas. I would say this Vlog is pretty much not usable in this shot at all. So more side-by-side comparisons, just trying to expose for the highlights and letting everything else fall where it will, and I would say they're pretty much the same, dynamic range-wise. Once again, it's just a color difference. Same thing here. I think the HLG looks pretty good, but once again, I just think the skin tones in the Vlog are a little better. There's just more color in them. Same thing with this. In this one, the HLG tends to be a little bit underexposed in the midtones. I was trying to expose for the highlights, so unless I totally botched it, HLG is way darker in the midtones. And then I started adding in now to the test Cine-D. And I really like the way Cine-D looks. The colors are nice. It's not overly contrasty. I haven't changed anything. This is straight out of camera. What you do have, even in Cine-D, what the camera captures is more than will show up. So you can see you have to bring the highlights down a little bit because when you first bring them in, yeah, it'll be blown out, but they're not actually blown out. You just have to, you got to lower your highlights a little bit in Cine-D, but you have more information there than will initially be apparent in Premiere. But yeah, I think Cine-D looks good. It's sharper because it's got sharpening, and I did not take the sharpening out of it in camera. So instead of the Panasonic VLog to Rec709, I added the AlexaLogC2Rec709. No difference, just change it up a little bit. I actually think the HLG in this one looks really good. I was able to retain the highlights in the HLG better than I was in Cine-D or in Vlog, but that's just probably me. And just different colors. I guess it would just come down to preference. Once again,
This is the AlexaLogC2Rec709. No changes and no changes.
I like the way VLog-L grades better than HLG. I prefer, even like when I started looking at Cine-D, I really like the colors out of Cine-D better than HLG. I don't think that you would have as much latitude in terms of grading HLG because there already is kind of a look and a color space already baked into it, whereas with VLog, you can determine that after the fact. So, I think that's it. I think that's all I really had to say about the matter. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. Hope you found it useful.